With me, I have Chief Segun Odegbami, who was a member of the 1980 Super Eagles squad that won the African Cup of Nations. Please share your thoughts with us about that monumental achievement, 40 years.
Well, to start with, it is hard to believe that it's been 40 years. It's like really yesterday. And it's a reminder that one is aging. But I remember that month very clearly, very vividly, particularly on the final night, the 22nd of March of 1980, when 16 of us soared like birds, like eagles, as a matter of fact, on a day when we were supposed to be normal Nigerians, but we were lifted by the spirit of 80,000 cheering spectators, led by the late legendary musician Zil Onya with his trumpet out there, blowing it in the wind, and supporters were just supporting him, and we were there, lifted beyond our normal capacities. Well, we won that night, and we made history. And I believe that was the true foundation of, a perception by the world now that Nigeria could be a true global force in world football. That was the beginning of it. Our players started to have confidence. We started to see European players that we heard about, South American players that we heard about, and we thought were gods, that they were actually humans and we could play against them. And this culminated in psychological development of the game all over the country and players, and so on and so forth, until where we are now 40 years later. But for those of us who played in that game, our story is littered with all kinds of things happening to different people. About 7 are late now. I think so, 7 or so are late. And the rest of us are battered by all kinds of health issues that come naturally, and some as a result of all the wear and tear of playing so physically at that time. But generally, we are grateful, and we hope that in March of 2020, coming very soon, there will be the opportunity and the occasion to celebrate the first true heroes of Nigerian football. That day will mark 40 years, and I hope Nigeria will celebrate it, because it is worth celebrating.
As you've rightfully pointed out, the first set of people, the first set of players to win it. I know we've won it twice after, but there's been nothing quite like that first one. It's a kind of a moment where everybody, remembers, where was I? Where I was, they remember where they were at that time. How did you guys feel going into the stadium, the pressure on your shoulders, 80,000, but a united crowd, different tribes brought together by one common goal, football?
Well, it was the first time that any one of us will be playing at such a crucial match. We had tried through the years to qualify for the Nations Cup and to get as far as possible. Twice we had gotten to the semi-finals, but even Nigerians did not believe that we were good enough to have won and become champions of Africa. But by 1980, when it was to be hosted at home, and when there was a football revolution in the country, new coaches were brought in, first from Europe and then later from South America. We were taking on one of the widest international tours that any national team had ever undergone since then and up till now. And, we actually learned how to play football. And by the time we came to the Nations Cup, we were a very, very good team. I can say that myself. And so we were prepared from day one psychologically. We had the vision that we were going to win it. And from match to match, confidence was increasing, and we were reassured with the support of Nigerians, because we had never experienced that kind of support before. So things just went on from match to match to match until we found ourselves in the finals, when there was no stopping us. So it was the first time for us, but we confidently went into it, and confidence became reality. And in the end, we celebrated like nobody had ever celebrated in our history. Up till now, what the country did for us has not been replicated. We got national honors, we got houses each, we got gifts from individuals, we were given financial rewards, not quite in the quantum that they would get today, but for that time it was unprecedented. And so that's it, really.
I think you're being a bit modest, sir, because a lot of us actually remember you scored 2 goals in that game. What was it like after you scored the first goal? Was there some sort of release, less pressure, or just a pure moment of joy?
Well, even before then, as a winger in the national team and a striker for my club, for 3 years, I was the highest goal scorer in the Nigerian league. For that period, whilst I was in the national team, I was the highest goal scorer in the history of Nigerian football up to that time. Nobody had scored more goals than I. So, and yet I was not really the out-and-out striker. I was a winger, more or less. But I was scoring goals. So it was expected, even at the Nations Cup.
I'm going to be cheeky to say perhaps you were the forerunner of Ronaldo, scoring from the wing.
Well, it was expected that a lot depended on me, delivering the goals. After all, 2 years before in Ghana, up till the very last match, I was co-highest goal scorer with Opokunti of Ghana, and I think Philip Umondo of Uganda. So it was expected that I would be amongst the goals. But when it came early in the match, totally out of the blues, it was a tension dampener, and a spirit lifter at the same time. So it helped tremendously.
Although he's not here, he's now blessed memory. I'm talking of one of the greatest midfielders Nigeria ever produced, Muda Lawal. He also happened to be your teammate at Shooting Stars of Ibadan. Tell me about his skill, his influence, and what he meant to you in the heart of the midfield.
Well, Muda was one of the truly gifted midfield players, particularly coming at a time when football was at its ascendancy. We did not have, the quality of midfield players of which Muda, truly epitomized at the time. So he's coming in to play at defensive midfield, and from his striking position, he was originally a striker.
Wow.
Then he came and was playing in the midfield. He became a conductor there. He was the general. He could hold the ball, he could pass it, he could dribble, he could shoot. And then they moved him to play at defensive midfield because he could run tirelessly without, endlessly and tirelessly. And his ball controls were just out of this world. He had tremendous skills, dribbling skills, ability to control the ball, passing skills, and he could shoot with both feet. So Muda was a complete player, and his influence on all our matches, was very, very clear. Without him in the team, you would know that something was missing. and some of us depended on his long ability to give long passes into open spaces behind defenders. So yeah, Muda was a great influence.
Then, of course, you also had probably one of the greatest centre halves Nigeria ever produced, Chairman Christian Chukwu. What was it like with him at the back?
Yeah, the same thing. He was a quiet gentleman, both in and out of the field. He played with so much confidence and composure, and he was never rattled with anything. And this was infectious. The way and manner he played was infecting the team positively. When you thought that you were under pressure, you would just see him calmly get the ball and come forward and pass and move and shoot. So he was a true leader, particularly on the field of play. And he played his role very, very well.
I'll come to the coach, Portuguese, Otto Gloria. Please give us an insight into some of his coaching methods and the kind of confidence he instilled in you.
I was just writing an article today, and it reminded me of Otto Gloria and how great teams evolve. Usain Bolt said recently that he could attribute substantially his success to his coach because he had the best coach in the world. Lee Evans told me recently that he became world champion, Olympic gold medalist, because he believed that his coach was the best coach in the world. And so he, as a product of that coach, must only be the best in the world. So it is about having somebody that instills supreme confidence in you as an athlete, as a football player. That's why you see the new generation of coaches that are excelling and doing well all over Europe now. The manner in which they do their coaching instills a lot of confidence in the teams that they lead.